Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, March 20th, 2017. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. A report being circulated in the public here that the U.S.-based Transport Security Administration, or the TSA, has failed the Argyle International Airport in its recent inspection has been deemed as erroneous information by the airport authorities here. In a joint statement issued today on the matter, the airport executives also pointed out that the TSA does not fail or pass airport security upon inspection and reiterated that no such report was issued for this country. Sharon Garraway tells us more in this report.
The Director of Airports, Corsell Robertson, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Argyle International Airport Incorporated, Harley Bourne, have described recent claims about a failure of the AIA by the U.S. Transport Security Administration as false and totally irresponsible. In a joint media release dated today, March 20th, 2017, the representative of both entities say they are very concerned about what they have described as erroneous information being circulated in the local media that the Transport Security Administration, TSA, of the United States of America has failed the AIA in its recent inspection. Robertson and Byrne highlighted that the overwhelming support of the public for the airport since its commencement on February 14th has been tremendous. The statement outlined that from March 7 to the 9th, 2017, members of the Transport Security Administration carried out an inspection of the AIA and that this inspection forms part of the long-standing relationship which SVG has with the TSA and was not a new or unexpected event. It went on to point out that many inspections have been carried out by the TSA at the E.T. Joshua Airport in the past and would be carried out at the Argyle International Airport in the future. The media release further noted that the inspection was previously requested for the E.T. Joshua Airport in the late 2016. But in review of the planned closure of the facility and the closeness of the opening of the Argyle International Airport, it was suggested that the inspection be instead carried out at the Argyle International Airport following its opening. They say the inspection was primarily to determine the security posture of the Argyle International Airport. The inspectors looked at the measures which are in place and assessed them against their requirements so that SVG can make modifications and or adjustments in preparation for the direct flights to the United States. The joint media statement further pointed out that the TSA is not a regulator of SVG and they do not pass or fail any country. The airport executives emphasize that the relationship with the TSA is one of collaboration and that the TSA's role is to assist in facilitating the implementation of their border security requirements. The joint media release further explained that the norm of such inspections is that a debriefing is carried out following the inspections. Countries are then given an idea of the things which the TSA observed and discussions are carried out to facilitate changes which can be made. The release went on to explain that the debriefing was, as they termed, quote, quite positive and SVG was complimented, end of quote, on several areas of the airport, layout, facilities, equipment, and practices. A full report is expected to be sent to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Godfred Pompey, within 30 to 45 days. However, a preliminary report is also expected in the near future. Sharon Garraway reporting for SVG Television News.
Minister of Economic Planning Camilo Gonçalves is calling on Vincentians to be more focused on the developmental potential of this country. Gonçalves, who was speaking on radio recently on the benefits of the Argyle International Airport, says that with the operation of the AIA, more must be done to utilize opportunities to generate revenue. He admitted that high crime will be a hindrance to the overall advancement of the country and will also impact visitor reviews if more is not done to address the issue.
We have a unique product here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. One of the issues has been access to that product. And that problem is being solved by the airport. But once you have that problem solved, you have to solve the other problems. And crime, particularly in the yachting sector, is a serious issue. We've had some bad experiences with crime and tourism in the past. I remember a very unfortunate family who were hiking in Soufrière I remember some tragic issues with yachties on the leeward coast and also down in the Grenadines, and those kind of things can really just turn our entire focus upside down. We have to do better on the crime front.
The Economic Planning Minister also emphasized the importance of locals being more service-oriented to improve tourism arrivals.
It's better on the ways in which we interact with people, and we have to get people to understand that tourism is everybody's business, and you can't say, well, this man hustling or this man trying to eat a food, because that man could destroy a year, 2 years, 5 years worth of progress in the tourism sector. So it's an important thing that we have to deal with. And all of that is part and parcel of our refocus on the developmental potential of the tourism sector and the opportunities opened by the airport.
Farmers and farmer organizations have been encouraged to do their utmost to get the most out of their produce in order to reap the financial rewards. The encouragement comes from Marketing Officer Jethro Green as he spoke at a recent handing over ceremony of crates to farmers and farmer organizations in the Lourdes area. Green said while the government has been doing its part to boost farmers' capacity, farmers themselves must take a proactive approach in getting profits from their produce.
Creating the enabling environment and the policy. But at the same time, we as farmers organization have to do a lot to help ourselves. We cannot go and depend on government and look for handouts, etc. We have opportunities to supply market. You see inside there, Norman is organizing a market overseas. Traffickers are doing marketing. We are now trying to encourage the traffickers to improve their handling of the produce. And I'm sure the minister is going to tell you the ministry is aggressively trying to see what support they can get for farmers. For example, there's a farmer fund that they're trying to lend to farmers to help develop themselves, etc. But the point is, at the end of the day, you as a business person must take all the necessary precautions to ensure that you make good profit, you have very little spoilage, and that you make money from agriculture. You're not in it for fun.
Green stated that farmers are one of the most important groups in a society as they provide the crucial resource of food, and expressed confidence that the farmers of Lourdes and other areas will reap the financial rewards of their continued hard work.
Having these crates to enhance yourself, to make yourself more of a business person, you're getting more and more power into your hands. Now, marketing is one of the key things that we are still looking at. And one of the major challenges we have in our organization is that it's not that we don't have access to market, but it's like when you're doing marketing overseas, sometimes the length of time the money takes to come back from the market to pay farmers is so long, and most small farmers don't have that kind of a cash flow. We continue to work with it, but one thing I can assure you, we have been shipping dasheen to the English market, and Vanessa and her team have been packing those dasheen. And after 5 years, we have never had a complaint from the market to say that there is any reject. And these are farmers packing produce. So if we manage, which we are working on, to get a cash flow situation where farmers can put on time, I can assure you that this village would have some of the wealthiest people you could think about, because we have the market out there.
Speaking on challenges posed by the Trinidadian market, Minister of Agriculture Soboto Caesar called on farmers to exercise patience as well as to work with the marketers in order to take the sector forward.
I am certain that the issue came about because the monies came late, and I'm asking all of us, marketing and trade is a partnership, and if a 2 weeks delay in payment cause you to chastise the person who is sending the goods overseas, they are human beings like all of us, and when we discourage them and they stop, it can cause a breakdown in the system. I'm saying all of this at the same time that those persons who are doing the marketing, we have to ensure that systems are put in place, because as was said earlier, farmers depend on their income for their livelihoods. I want to wish all of us all the very best, and let us keep working together, because unity is strength. Forward ever.
As part of the 2016 Civic Development Program, or CDP, which is a collaborative framework between the governments of SVG and the Republic of China on Taiwan, 4 ambulances were officially handed over to the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment earlier today. The new retrofitted vehicles seek to provide an upgrade to the country's emergency management system and will be allocated to smart hospitals and polyclinics across SVG. Nikita Tony has more in this report.
Costing some 500,000 EC dollars, 4 ambulances were today, Monday, March 20th, handed over to the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment as part of the continued medical and health collaboration between the governments of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of China, Taiwan. Procured through funds under the Civic Development Program, CDP, the 4 vehicles have been retrofitted with emergency medical service equipment. They are also 4-wheel drives, which give off-road capabilities to further aid in providing better medical care throughout the country's terrain, highlighting that the procurement was done as part of the ministry's efforts to modernize the country's healthcare sector. Health planner within the Ministry of Health, David Latchman, while outlining the specifications of the ambulances, pointed out that the new additions can now facilitate the handling of casualties on the spot.
And you don't have the luxury of starting. We have a side port that could be plugged directly into our regular 220 volts that could power the vehicle and generate and use all the equipment inside. We are actually going to do some training in defense driving and also in basic life support. So not only would the persons be better drivers and able to maneuver through the traffic better, but they would also be able to provide some level of support to the nurses and physicians.
Noting that healthcare over the years has become a top priority in the 2 countries' bilateral cooperation, Ambassador of ROC Taiwan to SVG, His Excellency Bershon Ge, outlined that this country has utilized funds made possible through the CDP to implement various projects which benefit all Vincentians.
Capable staffs in your ministry will make best use of these ambulances, as well as the advanced medical equipment installed inside to provide the best emergency pre-hospital medical care services to patients across the country. Medical and health collaboration between our 2 countries, like the cooperation projects in other fields, are mutually beneficial for both sides. So I look forward to seeing more cooperation as such between our two countries in the near future.
Thanking the government and people of ROC Taiwan for their continued display of solidarity and cooperation, which has in many ways aided in SVG's development, Minister of Health Luke Brown noted that this country is now better equipped to handle various emergencies.
Very important acts of collaboration. And even as we speak, we are exploring certain possibilities for expanding the scope of what we do now. These ambulances improve our ability to respond to emergencies. They already came into play when we had the opening of the Argyle International Airport, so we were able to be in a position to address any emergencies that might have arisen on that occasion. We're going to place one in Chateaubelair, and the one at Chateaubelair will be brought to Barley. We're going to put one in Georgetown, and the one that is currently at Georgetown will be transferred to Union Island. And we're also going to place one of these new vehicles at Sandy Bay and the other one at Stubbs.
Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
The young leaders of the intermediate high school today launched their 2017 project, which is guided under the sub-theme Volunteer Today, We Rise by Lifting Others. Highlighting the great benefits to be derived through voluntary work, the group plans on laying out a platform of helping others through teamwork. Nolisha Miller has more.
Aim to impact the lives of many here at the intermediate high school today, Monday, March 20th, 2017 launched their group and mission statement. Stemming from the RBC's general theme for the Young Leaders Program 2017, I Am We, Volunteering for Impact, the intermediate high school young leaders this year will be guided under their sub-theme, Volunteer Today, We Rise by Lifting Others. And according to coordinating teacher Kimberly Young-Compton, it is not just words on paper. The young leaders, along with the guidance of the teachers, are determined to make a difference in the community.
We vow to give freely of our time and resources to assist the less fortunate and underprivileged. The coordinating teachers also vow to willingly and readily volunteer our services. As a team, we vow to continue to work together to complete all our programs.
Highlighting the near isolation of youth today from reality through social media, Principal Elspeth Lachman stated, "It is unfortunate to see youth fully consumed by social media." However, she made an appeal to the student body to get involved in volunteerism, which she says reaps great benefits.
Most of our young people today are of the view that rendering services for which they are not paid is a huge waste of their time and efforts. After all, chatting online is a lot more fun. Volunteering creates the ideal chance for you to give back to an organization or an individual who may have impacted your personal life. Volunteering creates the ideal chance for you to make a difference in the lives of others, especially those who are less fortunate.
Meantime, President of the 2017 Intermediate High School Young Leaders, Jared Joseph, outlined the importance of teamwork, noting that it is the only way goals can be achieved.
Our mission can only be achieved if we work together as a unit or team. Together we aspire, together we will achieve. This year, the young leaders of the Intermediate High School will do our part as we help to improve lives. We anticipate new challenges as we meet new people and learn to solve them. We will remain active as we share our vision while gaining personal satisfaction as we join the excitement of being a positive influence. We will rise as we lift each other.
And also outlining the many benefits to be derived through voluntary works, feature speaker Tamira Brown challenged the student body to follow suit as to continue the positive impact of the lives of many.
I want you all to be volunteers. I want you to strive to become better persons. I want you all to rise by lifting others.
The program has received a widespread commendation for its role in the holistic development of young people throughout the Caribbean. Nolisha Miller, The Evening News.
Continuing its contribution toward the development of non-government organizations across the Caribbean region, the NGO's Caribbean Development Foundation, the NCDF, will host a two-day workshop here in SVG beginning tomorrow, Tuesday, March 21st. The workshop, which forms part of their Violence Against Women campaign, which began in 2010, will aim to put forward recommendations on how various NGOs can better do their part in tackling the issue. We hear more about the upcoming event in this report from Nikita Tony.
Lending support to various NGOs across the region through capacity-building workshops, the NGO's Caribbean Development Foundation will host a two-day workshop here in SVG from Tuesday 21st to Wednesday 22nd March at the Beachcombers Hotel as part of their Violence Against Women campaign, which is funded by the British Foreign Office, highlighting that the NCDF Violence Against Women campaign since 2010 has provided NGOs throughout the region with support to cope with the issue. Founder and President of the NCDF, Carol Daniel, noted that the organization aims to conduct a series of workshops within the Eastern Caribbean with specific focus on the inclusion of men in tackling the issue.
In the past, we brought many NGOs together. We asked them to put forward recommendations on what they needed in order for them to better support victims of domestic violence. And since then, we have lobbied regional governments to implement some of those recommendations. The workshop here in St. Vincent is going to be held on the 21st and the 22nd. That's tomorrow and Wednesday. It is at the Beachcomber Hotel and it starts at 10 a.m. And most importantly, it's free to any of the organizations attending.
Known for his work with men in dealing with the issue, consultant Jonathan Fowler pointed out that the two-day event seeks to identify the attitudes of men, their thinking, and how these attitudes and ways of thinking can be challenged.
We can support those men to change how they think, to change how they think about their relationships, and to come to a point where they are having themselves much healthier, happier relationships. We really feel that you can support victims unless you really change the way men are behaving. the women will be going back to these partners, or these men will be having new relationships in which they are being violent again. So what really needs to change is the way these men are behaving. So we want to support these men to really make these big changes in their lives and to create a much more healthy and happy environment for them, for their partners and for their children.
Fowler further urged all NGOs to come out and be a part of the learning and sharing experience as they work together to combat the growing global issue.
We know that the work that we do in the UK is very effective in addressing this issue, and we would like to see this kind of work spreading further afield and being implemented in St Vincent. We're very keen to see anybody from any NGO who's working in the sector come to these workshops. We're especially keen to see men who are interested in these issues coming to join the workshops because I think men have a very important role in spreading the message to other men about how we can relate better. We can learn from each other and we can have better relationships together. We can support each other to do this.
Persons interested in gaining more information on the event as well as the campaign can contact Carol Daniel via WhatsApp at 1-868-792-2098 or email c.daniel@ngocaribbean.org. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, Ricardo Adams, says he is pleased with the early contributions of soca music this year. Speaking with SVG-TV News on Friday, Adams said the early releases of soca music is impressive, and he's heartened to see artists stepping up to the challenge of getting Vincy Mas 2017 in gear, and is intrigued to see what else is in store from local artists.
I've heard a few songs. I've been sent a few songs on WhatsApp and that kind of stuff, and really, it's heartening to see that as early as March we're having music out, because sometimes we're struggling to get music in time for the launch of Carnival in May. So it's really heartening for me to see that people are really excited about Vincy Mas this year, and people are really putting forward the effort, and they're quite not quite a few good songs because they're just beginning to come out, but the songs that have come out so far are quite good quality. So I'm really hoping that this year we're going to have a bumper crop. I know Pat said she's going to be re-releasing for this year, so I'm really excited about it.
The CDC is noticeably taking a new approach this year as part of the 40th anniversary of Vincy Mas, with the hosting of several events which started as early as February. Last weekend, a number of legendary musical bands were celebrated through an event fittingly dubbed Clash of the Band.